So let's come back to our checklist. At the heart of it, besides routine setting you free, is what I think is my second favorite quote of all time from the late Stephen Covey, and that is, how do we keep the main thing, especially when you got 1,000 things on your to-do list? And so that's what I want to take a look at. And I want to come back to Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. Mark has been an unbelievably disciplined leader, I think well coached by Sheryl Sandberg, who, by the way, they meet every Friday as part of their council. And one of those disciplines is every quarter for them to bring an all-hands meeting together and decide not what are the 5, not what are the 3, but what is the one priority. By the way, they've now, because things have really sped up, they've shortened that to 6-week cycles. But back at the beginning of 2012, they were having one of these quarterly meetings. At the time, about 4,200 employees. And Fortune decided to send a couple of reporters to be there because they knew with the rumor that Facebook was going to be going public that spring, that was probably going to be announced at this quarterly meeting. But our reporters came back and were stunned that it was only something that Mark mentioned in passing. It was like, hey, that's just a distraction, I've got it. And literally, to quote in the article, they said, Mark turned to his people and said, what I need you to do is put your heads down, stay focused, and the priority, to get them mobile. Because what happened overnight was the Apple devices became popular. In the end of 2011, everyone just quit doing everything on their PC and laptop and had moved to their mobile device. And Facebook's getting ready to go public, and they're not on that platform. Now, if anyone has a tech company, has experienced what it would take to make this kind of swap, knows just how monstrous this job would be. Nevertheless, that was the focus for the next quarter. Now, in the meantime, they get the company public. It was at $38, almost immediately collapses to $19. The media, including Fortune's beating them up. You know, the boy wonders, time has ended. It seems like everybody wants to pull down these successful folks. But at some level, Mark didn't care because going public wasn't the priority. It was getting mobile. And one of the things that is critical when you've decided this theme is to repeat yourself a lot, to literally go around every day and ask your team, what are you doing? And when they say, then your request is, well, but is that going to get us mobile? And every hiring decision, every acquisition, almost every line of code, Mark kept the team focused on getting this accomplished. And sure enough, in record time, they did. By that third quarter, they are already generating revenue off their mobile platform. And as this chart shows you, over the next 18 months, they generated 98% of their revenue growth from a distribution channel that didn't exist the previous decade. And look, I would challenge anyone that's watching this to be able to make that kind of pivot that quickly with as complex a technology that underpins Facebook. But that's the power of having one thing to accomplish, like Steve Jobs and the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, Mark doing this every single quarter. And look, they could have gotten 999 other things accomplished. But if they had not gotten mobile, they would be that light blue line you see there in the chart. And what do we call that light blue line? Yahoo. And that's what happened. Not only did Yahoo lose their keyword to Google, but they never got mobile. Nobody could ever figure out what job they could do, and they didn't get on the right platforms. And so that's the power of making sure you keep the main thing the main thing. By the way, the stock has recovered. Today it's 10x what it was there at that low of 19.